So every now and then we get a lot of FUD from Wall Street regarding the future of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general. Sometimes we hear Goldman Sachs is working on a crypto exchange. Sometimes we hear they're not. And then we hear, oh no, they're working on it, but not in the way we thought they were. And some of the obvious smears against Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency vertical, we hear from likes of Jamie Dimon basically saying this is a scam. And of course, we hear from Mr. Buffett himself that this asset has no value and whatnot, right? And so today I wanted to bring to you an insider's view of the double dealing of Wall Street. And it's pretty much what we have thought it might be, but it's more of a realization of hearing from someone who deals with these folks on a day-to-day basis. So let me set some context here. This is a conversation with Barry Silbert. Barry Silbert, who seems like he started in the traditional finance, stocks and Wall Street and all that jazz. He was CEO of some company, and then he worked with Second Market, which was sort of like a parallel to NYSE or NASDAQ. Before companies go public, you could trade the private stocks. So he's been around for a while, and then he went into crypto around 2013, and he is the founder and CEO of Digital Currency Group, which is in turn connected with Grayscale Investments, Bitcoin Investment Trust, and I know he's invested in a lot of crypto exchanges as well. I think he's CoinDesk. I think they're connected with CoinDesk, and the exchange they're connected with is Kraken. So he's knee deep into crypto world, and he seems to have he seems to have his origination from the traditional Wall Street world, right? So he's connected with these folks. So I came across this podcast named Unchained Podcast.co, and in this one, this is quite revealing when the anchor asks Barry Silbert what is he hearing from the insiders on Wall Street versus what they tell us, like the whole notion of information for the masses and information for the classes. So I'm gonna play it for you now, and I hope it's gonna be quite revealing.
You just mentioned Wall Street, and I know that in previous remarks you have said that what Wall Street says publicly about crypto is differently from what they say in private. What are those differences?
Well, look, I think the Jamie Dimon quotes have been fantastic, and there's plenty of anecdotes of people being in the J.P. Morgan building, meeting people about XYZ digital currency related when Jamie makes these comments. What we're seeing right now is, despite the drop in prices, despite the drop in volumes this year, the level of engagement and the level of seriousness that we see coming out of the Wall Street institutions and banks is at an all-time high. It's not-
So this is the most important thing, guys. So on the front, they're putting up a front using traditional media like CNBC and putting up their spokesperson on there, kind of flooding the whole crypto world. And behind the scene, they're working really, really diligently to get into the game and creating infrastructure behind it. Of course, we hear news on a day-to-day basis. Like I think it was a few days back. Which one was it? TD Bank or one of those big traditional money management group which got into crypto, and we don't see any price movement based on that. So as Barry speaks more, you learn more about it. What's going on?
Not there's plenty of commentators that say that Bitcoin's dead. There's plenty of commentators that say that the bubble's burst and it's over. behind the scenes, it's kind of full steam ahead right now. And what's pretty clear is nobody wants to be first, but everybody wants to be a really fast follower. And certainly no.
That's a really important point, guys. So nobody wants to be first, as in nobody wants to come ahead and kind of break the bear market, because everybody's accumulating right now. And as soon as it breaks, everybody's just going to rush in. Some might say this is just me being hopeful and selling hopium. But when I hear industry insiders kind of validating this notion, it would be quite irrational of me to think otherwise.
One wants to be last. So I do think whether it's what Goldman has announced they're doing or what ICE is doing, I think something is gonna I think kind of break open that dam, and it's gonna be very, very popular and very socially acceptable for a bank to be offering to their clients, customers access to this asset class pretty quickly when that happens. When it happens, I don't know. But when it does happen, it's going to happen very fast.
So no one really knows how to time the market. I guess that's quite fair to say. Is it going to be by the end of 2018, mid of 2019? No one knows. But in short term, we can really see the bridges being built to crypto from the old school financial world, and at some point these are going to be open and transfers will start happening.
What impact do you think it will have on the crypto markets? Because everybody made all this, hubbub over how the futures were going to bring all this money into Bitcoin and everything, and obviously now we've just seen this massive downturn, and then now everyone's saying BACT is going to be huge. But what do you think is really going to be the effect of all these things?
I will predict that by the end of 2019, the conversation, the commentary on, let's call CNBC, is not going to be whether this asset class is a tulip bubble or Ponzi scheme. It's not going to be about blockchainifying this and that. It's going to be this asset class is here to stay. What is the proper allocation, and how do you allocate that money? I think we're 12, 18 months away from that. And
I think that kind of puts it all in perspective, that it's all about FUD. We don't know what's going on, guys. It's coming from CNBC. In the meanwhile, old school money is building bridges to get inroads into the crypto world, and as soon as they feel they're comfortable enough, they have enough purchase, they have enough skin in the game, they've got in the right time, they're going to turn on those pathways and let the capital flow. When will it happen? No one really knows, but we can already hear industry insiders telling us about it. And it's got to be pretty soon, because when people are speaking, so you have to put it in context of what we hear publicly. There's so much positive public news coming in nowadays. ICE, BACT, this has to have some effect on prices and whatnot, but it's not. So obviously there's pressure being built up. I'm not a financial expert, but I can tell, I can read the vested interest, and I can read the fact that the old school money would want to get into something so lucrative, something so game changing, but they want to be in at the right time. So in case if you had any doubt if this is the accumulation period, this should help you make more educated decisions. All right, signing out. It's time.